mobile hotspot is a feature supported by many smartphones as well as other devices. Now, depending on the brand of device, the vendor effectively, you might find different terminology used. So you might hear the term mobile hotspot, you might hear the term personal hotspot, again that's quite applicable to Apple-based devices. You might also hear the term tethering, which is more of an older term with respect to connecting a device to your smartphone, for example. So all of these are applicable to providing a mobile hotspot. So what is it? Well, if we take an example, so here we have a smartphone connected to a base station, and this base station and smartphone may be operating on 5G technology, but they could also be operating on 4G or 3G or 2G. So that's normal operation, browsing the internet, making calls from that particular device. But what we're talking about is providing a mobile hotspot. And ultimately, what we're looking at is activating the hotspot feature on your device such that it provides Wi-Fi access to other devices in the vicinity. And that could be a laptop, it could be a tablet, for example, in a workplace environment, or other mobile devices potentially that don't have mobile connectivity. Now, in that particular example, you can see that, the idea is these devices, these laptops, are very close to the hotspot, the smartphone itself, in which case the Wi-Fi signal will be very strong. And therefore you would think you'd be getting very high data rates. However, it does depend on where the smartphone is with respect to the base station. Because if you've only got a weak signal from your 4G, 5G cell, for example, then you may be limited in terms of the data throughput to that smartphone effectively, which will then have a knock-on effect to the devices connected. It's also worth pointing out that different devices may have limits on how many actual third-party devices can be connected through to your smartphone. Now finally, I just want to change my smartphone here to a dongle. So instead of utilizing my smartphone as the mobile hotspot, you can get dedicated devices that provide mobile hotspot functionality. And they're typically referred to as either mobile hotspot devices or dongles, for example. Now, either way, whether you've got a dedicated device or a smartphone, we would need to effectively configure it to allow other laptops, tablets to access our device. And this is an example of a Samsung configuration or Android-based configuration. Again, mobile devices all slightly different, but you can see on there is an icon for mobile hotspot. So what I can do is I can activate that, and then I'll be pushed onto a configuration screen where I can give the Wi-Fi network configuration. So I can give it a name, but I also can put in a Wi-Fi password. If you're in an Apple device, utilizing an Apple smartphone as your hotspot, you can see it's typically referred to as a personal hotspot. Now, it's worth pointing out, because Apple utilizes the iCloud and you can have multiple devices connected, etc., it already allows an element of sharing to take place anyway, but you also have the ability to allow others to join, in which case you can see we can put in a Wi-Fi password there to allow other laptops, tablets, for example, to access my smartphone hotspot device.